Because in order to set limits playfully, we want you to have special time going. We want you to be building the safety in your relationship with your child. And we want you also to have been, setting limits around the important things, bringing the limit and then listening to children's feelings. But once you have those two tools and you're exploring them and learning more about them, it's time to try some play in setting limits. What we want to do is we want to balance the big, generous no that we're showing you how to bring to your child as a gift to, help them not feel bad about the times they go off track and being allowed to be off track, with a big, generous yes of I see you, I like you, I love to be with you, I will keep you safe. And setting limits playfully is kind of balancing the bringing limits and listening to the big feelings, the big heavy feelings, with bringing limits and allowing the lighter feelings to offload and building the relationship that way. So it's a balancing tool, and it's a very good one. We're not going to emphasize this a whole lot. You can read about it more in the Setting Limits booklet and in the play listening booklet. But I want to give you some examples. So the reason that setting limits playfully is helpful to children is that the reason that they go off track is that their sense of connection has broken. And laughter is a very powerful connector of human beings. Laughter is a very powerful builder of a sense of safety in a relationship. And in particular, when children have big feelings to work on, if they can laugh again and again with you, if they can laugh heartily, if they can laugh freely, if they can play freely with lots of laughter with you, that allows them to work more deeply on the big fears and the big upsets that their behavior gets trapped by, that their behavior locks down because of. So we want you to be able to use laughter as a builder of safety, as a builder of confidence, and as an indication that you are a safe person to be with, even though they have the troubles they have. That's one big indication that setting limits playfully can give them is, my daddy still loves me, even though I have trouble with eating anything but Cheerios and milk. Or my mommy still loves me, even though I have some feelings about the baby brother that aren't so pretty. And when you set limits playfully, it's a communication in that direction of, I love you, I see you've got this trouble, it's okay with me, I will help you. So setting limits playfully means just that. It's like, instead of, sweetie, I can't let you go outside, it's almost dinner time, and offering your attention and waiting for, big crying, you do something a little more lighthearted. So they're heading out the door and you've already told them that they can't go outside, it's almost dinner time. So instead of getting all serious and adult-like, you grab the back of their t-shirt and go, come here, you. And you pull them into your lap, or you pull them up next to you. And maybe you pummel their belly playfully. You just go, ooh, I said no going outside right now, And that will make them laugh and try harder to go outside. And you pull them back. Hey, you, come back here. Ooh, time to stay inside. And then they'll make a beeline for outside. And you can go back and forth, helping them laugh, making eye contact, enjoying them, giving them little sort of, playful, what do I want to call it? A playful pushback. For their wanting to do what you don't want them to do. But you're not saying, oh, I can't stand this behavior, please never do that again. You're saying, I'm going to spend 5 minutes here letting you try to run out the door, and I'm going to find playful ways to keep you inside so you can laugh, so we can get together. So by the time we get to the dinner table, we're in good with each other. Or, so by the time I say, sweetie, I can't play this game anymore, I'm going to get in front of the door now. And you get in front of the door, so they can't get the door handle. And you go, I'm sorry. And they can burst into tears and dig deep for the roots of that big feeling that has them not wanting to be with anybody in the family right now, wanting to be outside instead. So I'm going to give just a few examples, and you're going to need to explore this as best you can. But so one time I was playing with two brothers. The older one was pestering the younger one all the time. It's like I'd seen this for 3 hours long one morning. And it was the afternoon, and we're out in the sandbox, and the older one is making a beeline for his brother just to give him a hard time. And I just sort of scooped him up and go, and he laughed and laughed. So I've got him in my arms like this. I say, "You want to be with your brother? Okay, here we go." And I just kind of airplaned him down right close to his brother who's playing in the sandbox. And then at the last minute, while he's reaching out to grab his hair, I just go, "Whoa, whoops, you missed him." And he'd laugh and laugh and laugh. And he'd go, "Want to try again?" Yeah. Here we go. Whoa, oops, you missed him again. And he'd laugh and laugh and laugh. So he'd be trying to grab his brother's hair. And I kept the situation safe so that he could try, show me he wanted, show me he had that impulse, show me all he wanted was a handful of his brother's hair. But I kept the situation safe. And every time I brought the limit playfully, he could laugh really, really hard. One of the things that makes this such a wonderful tool is that all of that hard laughter is the offloading of kind of the lighter side of fear. When children are allowed to be aggressive or allowed to go off track, they're scared inside. They're scared because they can't tell where the limit is, and they're scared when they do something that's hard on someone else. They don't show it, but deep down inside, that is how they are. And so when you set playful limits, another way to set playful limits between siblings, one of whom wants to womp on the other one, is just to sort of be the cowboy herding the little heifer that's going in the wrong direction. It's like, you get in front of him, oh no, he's trying, oh, come here you, oh no, oh, he's going through my legs. And you grab their t-shirt and pull him back, and they're making a beeline, acting like they want to hurt, this other child, or they want to take this other toy. And you just playfully parry. You playfully parry. You give him a little bit of playful payback. A little bit of pummeling of the belly, a little bit of rubbing him on the scalp, a little bit of raspberries on their back or their tummy. It's like, oh, every time you reach for his toy, I gotta give you raspberry. And then you like that, and they'll laugh and they'll laugh and they'll laugh because you're being affectionate. You're not upset that they have this compulsion to grab or pinch or pull hair or throw sand. But you're keeping it safe, and this is a limit. This is a limit. It's as effective a limit as, "No, sweetie, I'm not going to let you in the sandbox." Too much throwing sand and having them cry. It's just a different way of doing it, and both ways are good. One way without the other is it's not quite right. It's like you really want to build your ability to be both playful in setting limits and to be, quietly, gently serious about it so that they can offload the heavier feelings. I'll give you 2 more examples. One is when my boys used to come home from school, they were, school disconnects children from us. School is hard on them. It's just not a connection-rich environment. So they come home and they're kind of fuzzed out. And what they used to do is they'd walk into the house, they'd make a beeline for the cereal cabinet, they'd get out the Cheerios, pour themselves a big bowl, pour milk all over it, sit down and gaze out the window while they're feeding themselves Cheerios. And they were not really even hardly looking like human beings. No light in the eyes, no joy in life. They're just kind of eating their Cheerios. And this is not a serious problem. It's like, it's a little bit of disconnection, but I didn't like seeing them eat without awareness or eat without joy or just being all fuzzed out like that. It just didn't seem right to me. So I set a limit. So when they would come in, they'd head for the cereal cabinet, and I'd head for the cereal cabinet too. And I go, "I don't think so." And I grab the Cheerios and run through the house. And they would be running after me, "Cheerios, Cheerios, we want the Cheerios." And I'd run into this room and run back out, run into the next room, and I'd run all around the house with the Cheerios, and they'd all run around after me, and finally they would tackle me. And finally they'd grab the Cheerios away, and I'd get up and I'd grab them back, and we'd have, a 3-minute or a 5-minute tussle over who's going to get the Cheerios. And, Cheerios are leaking out of the box, and they're flying here and there. But we're having a little Cheerios fest. And finally, when they got the Cheerios, they were victorious. It's like really when you're playing like this, you want the children to be victorious in the end, unless it's doing something, that really must not be done. So you don't want a child to be victorious about grabbing his brother's hair. But Cheerios, it's like all I wanted was connection. I didn't, Cheerios is not a bad thing to eat, I don't think so, or I didn't think at that time. It was just being fuzzed out that was bad. So after we connected and played, they would sit down and eat their Cheerios, but they were there. There was light in their eyes again. They had just been victorious over me and gotten their bowls of Cheerios, and we could talk, and it was just a whole different moment because we'd connected. So one more example. My grandson came over one day, and we were playing. We had some special time. We were playing, and at the end of the time, there's stuff all over the floor, all over. And I said, "Oh, special time's over. That was really fun. How about let's pick up before you go home?" And he goes, "I'm not going to pick up." And I go, "Well, okay, I'm not either." And then I picked up one of the items on the floor and I just threw it up in the air, and he laughed. He's so surprised. I picked up another one. "I don't care. It's all over the place." And I got some more toys out of the basket and I threw them in the air. And so pretty soon we're both throwing toys in the air, and he's laughing and laughing like, "Mimo, what are you doing?" And here I am, I'm making the mess worse. And it's like, am I going to pick this up? No. Whack! And away it goes. And so I just played like that for a while, and we just laughed, and the place was more of a mess than usual. And I just decided, I could have insisted that he pick up, but I just decided I want to see what happens if we just laugh about this for a while, and I let him go home. And I did pick up. It's easier for me because I'm just a grandma. It's like I don't have to live with the mess all day if I don't want to. But he came back the next day, and what was so interesting was he came back the next day and he walked in the house, and without saying a thing, he cleared the table and put all the dishes on the sink, and he went into the living room, and there was magazines here and there, and there was a blanket that needed folding, and he, fixed the magazines so they looked nice, and he folded the blanket, and he went into the room where we'd been playing, and I don't know, I'd left some books in there, and he picked up the books. "Mima, where do these go?" And he spent 10 minutes like totally neatening up my house without being asked. So it sometimes can take a little while for the laughter that children have when you're setting the limit playfully or playing with a little hitch they have in their behavior. It can take a little while for them to come around, but they do come around. It's like anytime you've got laughter, you're going to have a child who's thinking better soon, or who's able to cry with you and then thinking better soon.